Hey everyone, this is Blair Barnhardt, founder and executive director of IPMA and IPMA Academy, and we've got some special tips for you coming right up here after the break. So stick around.
It's time for your IPMA Tip of the Week, brought to you by IPMA Academy, the most comprehensive online certification program for pavement managers on this planet. Here's your host, author of the Amazon #1 bestseller, The Book on Better Roads, Blair Barnhardt. Listen in with Blair and his special guests as they show you how to do more with less money and less carbon footprint. Let's get started.
I have the special privilege today to be with Ron Kirby here, professional engineer from Spartanburg County. Ron, just introduce yourself if you don't mind, please.
Okay. I'm Ron Kirby. I'm the engineer for Spartanburg County, South Carolina. This is a project that we did last year with the HA5. The subdivision was resurfaced about 10 years ago, and we came through, did a depth patch and crack seal program last winter, and then this summer we came through and did the HA5. The neighbors have been very pleased with the results, and so is Spartanburg County.
Awesome. And it was the first time for this kind of a treatment in this area, was it, Ron?
Yes, we've never used HA5 before. We've been very pleased with the results.
Well, and again, you know, we're not here to promote any one product or service. We're just trying to spread the word about different treatment options. So as you went through the IPMA Academy, I guess you were exposed to the hot in place, cold in place, cold up reclamation, a bunch of preservation treatments and such. So as you go through each of the tools now in the toolbox, you're using PCI, I guess, to select which ones,
yes,
where to put them and so forth, to help with the pavement management system.
The IPMA Academy has been very informative. We are trying new things now. We were always doing the same thing, so now we're trying different options. Cold in place recycling, hopefully some microsurfacing, and just trying different things.
Well, I guess much based on what you were telling me, Ron, much like the rest of the country, the budget, you've got a shortfall in budget, so you've got to come up with alternative methods to try to stretch those dollars, I suppose.
We can't keep doing the same thing we've always done. Our budgets have shrunk due to the recession, plus the costs have all gone up, so we're looking for ways to make our dollars stretch further.
Awesome. Any advice for those other county engineers out there, much like yourself, who have been conventionally doing the same thing for many years? And we're not trying to point the finger at anyone. I mean, we all have our crosses to bear, but so you having gone through the academy and kind of looking at the big picture, and now you've been trying to implement some of these new treatments and so forth, what advice would you have for Mr. County Engineer over there somewhere in another state, or maybe even another country for that matter, trying to figure out how to do what you're doing? I mean, where do they start? It can be overwhelming at times, right?
Be willing to try new things. Educate council, educate the public, and once they find out what you're doing and the amount of money that can be saved, you get a lot of support.
Awesome. So for the county engineers out there, if you had one big aha moment, one big takeaway from all of it, Academy, or even from the experience with the treatments out here in the field, the different type treatments, what would be the one takeaway, that one you just wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh, I get it now. I know we can save money by doing this. Would it be the pavement management aspect, or is it tying everything together?
The pavement management is key to this. Having the ability to come up with different treatments for different roads instead of the same treatment. Waiting until the roads are just deteriorated and then having to rebuild them was just way too expensive. We couldn't afford it. Now there's treatments that we can put on that will preserve the pavements longer at a much cheaper price. Plus, the residents like to see work going on in their subdivision. A lot of times I've heard,
good point.
I've heard a lot of times that, well, it's been 20 years and you haven't done anything in my neighborhood. Where are my tax dollars going?
Right.
So now with the different treatments that come on at different points in time, the public sees us out there working in their neighborhood, and they feel like they're getting their money's worth now.
Awesome. And if we could share this too, I think this was an epiphany for me, Ron. So the residents, when they see the crack fill crew come in to the subdivision, they sometimes get a little antsy about these treatments coming in and maybe having to stay off the roads for a few hours or so forth. But you're basically giving the residents an option, like, hey, we're going to do this year, but then you turn it back to the HOA for them to make the ultimate decision through a vote or something like that. I mean, I think that's worth sharing. Get the folks back.
Well, when we come and crack seal the neighborhoods, the crack seal is not very attractive. But we give the homeowners associations the opportunity that we would come in and do additional treatments. But it takes some effort. You know, putting in some of these treatments, you have to stay off the roads for several hours, 12 to 16 hours for high density mineral bond, 2 to 3 hours for some of the microsurface. So we give these homeowners associations the opportunity to opt out or get on board and have the treatments done.
So they do a vote, I guess, with the HOA, and then they go to the residents. If they get a certain percentage of votes, then you'll proceed with the treatments?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that saves a lot of phone calls to you for the people complaining.
Yes.
So maybe good advice. I mean, Ron's got 1,700 miles of roadway. So one county engineer trying to maintain that sizable amount of infrastructure, I just don't think you have time to be answering every call that comes in about that. So I like that approach, and maybe that's a great takeaway for y'all today listening. Ron, if you would, could you give the listeners your email address in case they have any questions about any of the treatments that you're using?
Sure. My email address is rkirby, Kirby, at spartanburgcounty.org. Awesome.
Thanks so much for joining us, man.
Thank you, Blair.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time. This is Blair, and this is
Ron Kirby.
signing off with your IPMA Tip of the Week. Thanks for joining us.